Come on in, welcome to my home. Today we are going to talk about my office. And if you are expecting this to be one of those videos where I instantly change over my office, it's not. It's not one of those videos at all, because I'm going to show you the actual process of what it's going to take for me to change this office. And we are starting at the very beginning, which is where everyone needs to start. And the very beginning is to actually figure out what I do with my office. If you've been around my channel very long, you've probably seen this room. Like all of this. Like, this is the room I totally live in. If you are part of Patreon or the channel memberships, you will have seen this room in the vlog countless times. In fact, there was one week where I called it Man Trapped in a Room, because just about every video, or every part of that video, was filmed in this room, because this is my main living space. I mean, I do these videos, I edit these videos, they're basically done here, and so it's kind of a small room. I mean, that's the thing to think about, is like, when you see videos done, nobody ever thinks about the fact that how big of a space that you need just to film a video like this. The setup isn't really real. As you can see from the beginning of this, the setup actually has an extra light, there are overhead lights, there's tons of things going on. All of that has to happen in my room, but I have to figure out, what do I want to have happen in this room? So the first thing that I always do when I am starting any major kind of renovation is measure the room. And I measure the room in a detailed way. I don't just take the measurements of length and width. No, I need to know a whole bunch of things. I need to know where the plugs are. I need to know where the light switches are. I need to know where the door openings are. I need to really know where windows are placement, and also where I have the molding that goes around the door, because that's actually going to change things. When I figure out how much room that I have to look at this going, hey, I have this much room, but if I make something which is too close to the wall, it might hit the molding, which then throws the whole thing off. So I do a detailed measurement, and I make sure that I have all of my dimensions, everything I could possibly want to know for my room. Then once I have that, I draw it out. Now, I am using AutoCAD. You can use pencil and paper. You can use whatever you like to use. And you can put in as much detail as you like. I am using CAD symbols, or at least symbols that I can relate to, which represent my plugs and my TV and the phone, all of those connections that are on the walls that I'm going to need to know about. So then once I have that laid out, then I can go back and look at this and say, hey, alright, here's this room, what needs to happen here? And in this room, it's actually quite simple. So some of the things I do here is this. I do filming in this room. And one of the things which is a massive challenge here is that there's not a lot of places that I can film. Part of that is my own fault, part of that is the way the room is set up, because I don't know if you've ever realized this, but right here is a door. That door leads to my bathroom / laundry room. Right in front of me is a door which leads to the rest of the house, which has the living room, that sort of thing. Off to the side here, that's where the bulk of the office is, but it's also where my plants are, and I am a plant person. I love my plants. My plants are wonderful. So I know that I have to have a place to film. I know that I have to have a place to have my plants. I know that I need storage. And I also have to have a place for my actual computing needs, because, well, believe it or not, when I'm not filming, I'm usually editing these videos. And by editing these videos, that means I'm sitting in front of a computer screen for hours and hours on end, looking at myself, talking to myself. Yeah, that's what a YouTuber does. We talk to ourselves, we answer things, a whole bunch of stuff. But when I look at this and I think of how I want this planned out, I will tell you right now that the way the room is laid out, I actually like. There's only one piece of furniture which probably will go. Well, one piece of furniture which will stay in the family but will probably leave this room, and that is the captain's chair, simply because I don't use it anymore. Here's why. When I look at the layout of this, I know that the plants have to be in front of the window. No problem. when I look at the layout of this, I can say, okay, the plants are in front of the window, but I have a set of curtains and drapes in front of my window that in the last 6 years, I've closed them one time. And that was when it dropped down to, I think it was -32. It might have only been -28, something along those lines, just to keep the house warm. That is the only time I've ever closed those curtains. Now, they have mini blinds there that I close every night, but the curtains sort of don't really pay off. So I know that I'm going to probably make shorter curtains for the window so that way I can close it, but they're not all the way to the ground because they don't need to be, because what I'd like to have is a big station for my plants to be right there at the window with something so that I could then have a whole bunch of plants and then have a place for the water to drain off, maybe like some sort of trough that it could drain off, and then I could, get rid of that water. But we're still in the planning stage. Okay, let's talk about the rest of this. This shot drives me absolutely crazy. Do you know why? This bar right behind my head is the bane of my existence. Simply because these are actually just two bookcases put side by side. I'm sure you realize that. And yes, I could move them together so that, I could do that a little bit better. Yeah, I know. But when I did this, it was I was more centered up one way or the other. But now I've gotten to the point where I just don't like this shot. I don't like this shot whatsoever. So what I want to do is I want to eliminate that bar, which means I'm going to have to put in shelves so that this is going to be a wider space. That's not that big of a deal, and I realize that that's not that hard to put in shelves. There's a lot of stuff up on these shelves which are here just solely for decorative purposes. And I mean, like the lights, those sort of things, that's really cool. Now on the far side, where I used to do a lot of filming before the aloe sort of took over the room, I used to use that for a lot of filming. I don't use that for filming anymore. Aloe's in the way. So I'm going to use that more for my storage of actual stuff that I use. And as things have changed, things have changed. Now we've finally gotten to the point where Mom and I have two condos side by side, so I finally talked her out of needing a telephone, like a landline telephone. So okay, no landline telephone means that the telephone connection, which at one time was hooked up to this whole system so that we could share, it was a long story. Anyway, long story short, I don't need that. So it still needs to be there, but I don't have to worry about those cables, and cables are a huge issue. In fact, cables will change how this room operates. So when you look around this room, it might not seem like it's all that big a deal, but a lot of things were temporary solutions. When I got these bookcases, it was a temporary solution because I knew eventually I would then get things like shelves, like I've been talking about. To my right, left, it's to your right, is my hutch. That hutch is also a temporary solution. It came from our house that we used to live in, and it's raised up so that I could have some sort of division in between the two. But one of the things which I found, interestingly enough, is the hutch has fixed shelves. I don't need fixed shelves. What I need is adjustable shelves. I do like the glass opening and closing, but I need adjustable shelves because I want to be able to adjust the height of things in there. I also don't like the fact that it's very, very dark, and so anything I put on display in there just sort of disappears. Absolutely disappears. So it's sort of locked into what I can do. So that's something that has to change. Now going closer to the window, like I said, that's going to become storage and plant housing because I love my house plants. Gotta have a lot of house plants. Love those. On the far side, next to my desk, at one time, that's where the phone wireless thing was. That is where the router and all of those things are. But a lot of it is useless space. A lot of it is space that I just don't really need, but I don't have anything going over there that needs to, I'm not sure what I need to do with that. Underneath all those plants is a filing cabinet that I've never really loved. I've used, but I've never really loved it, and there's stuff in there that I just don't need anymore. That just isn't relevant to how I live my life, and it's, once again, a temporary solution. There are pieces there that just don't make any sense right now, but they will need to be replaced, because I do need something to house all the plants, and I'd like to get more plants. Okay, so then we go to my computer area, which, once again, hugely temporary solution, because I needed a computer area pretty quickly, because the shelving unit that I originally had there just didn't work for me. So I thought, well, I'll temporarily just take 2 cabinets, put them there, put some wood on top of them, and it will last for just a little while until I get a new desk that I like. Okay, it's been a few years. It's been a lot of years, so no new desk that I like. Now here's where all of these things start coming together, and why I keep saying you need to plan these things out. Because when it comes to the desk, I know that I want to get a standing, sitting desk. One of those desks that I can raise up, lower back down, because that really is the way I think, the way I work. I move around a lot in this. So I want to get one of those. But to get one of those, I'm also thinking about getting a new computer. The new computer I need so that I can do faster computing. I want to play some games. I'm really getting into Unreal Engine to do computer graphics, but that's beside the point. So with a new computer I probably am going to get a laptop computer, so that way I'm not trapped or stuck at the desk, and then have the 2 monitors, or possibly a curved monitor, but that's going to take some money to get. I'll have to look into those, and you're going to get to come along as I look at all these pieces and figure out what I want to do with that. Because with a stand-sitting desk, I will have the 2 monitors hooked up to the desk, so of course it goes down and up. Now they do have those that have a shelf for a desktop computer, so that would be cool. Or I can get the laptop and then just hook it up, so I will have to see about that. Now in this room, as it has gone through many iterations, there were different layouts, different ways that it looked. But like I said at the beginning, I like this layout. I like my table, which actually was a dining room table at one point. In fact, it was my mom's dining room table at one point. It has been used in my house before, but I find that I fold laundry here. I work on things, I lay stuff out. This is my craft area, so I really like it. One of the things to think about is, what pieces do you want to keep that are in your room? Now in this room, the one piece that I love is the dining room table. Well, my desk / dining room / folding table, that'll keep. I'll also keep the chair that I am sitting on, because I use it to fold up I put my laundry on it, then I can fold it onto the table. So I mean, it serves a lot of purposes, and I can move it out of the way. I love that. My office chair, we'll see what happens. Now one of the things that I do know is that behind me, I want to move it's called a credenza that is in the living room. I want to use that as the basis of the shelving behind me. So it will be just here. And from there, I don't know. Would it be really nice to keep the bottom part of the shelves? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But I want to do this in a way which is economical. But like I said from the beginning, I really have to think about the steps. And the steps in this, believe it or not, is going to be the computer first. Because the computer is going to decide a lot of different things, because everything from the organization of wires, that sort of thing, that's going to dictate a lot. And like I said, I really want the standing, sitting desk. I do know that the color scheme will be cherry, because the cherry matches the table, the cherry matches the credenza, so that I do know what's going to be there. Am I going to paint the walls? Too soon to tell. It's very important to get your layout first. Then worry about all those other things. Worry about the other pieces. But before you can even get the layout, like I said, you need to know exactly Where are your plugs? Where are your switches? Where are all of those things that you're going to run into? One of the benefits of using the shelves that I have in here right now is, can I show you this? Yes. Okay, this is the height that the base of the shelving is right now, and it could very easily just go around the room. And yes, I have the tools and the ability to work with this, maybe even build it up so it looks a little bit nicer. Oh hey, I just thought of that. Ever had a moment where you're saying something and you're just like, yes, if I move the credenza, that would move these two bases over there. Oh, hey, that might work out even better than I thought it would. But anyway, back to my story here. So, that's what we'll be doing. We will be using some of what we have, what we can, and try to just keep this in a normal, logical manner. The filing cabinet slash, filing cabinet, a lot of that stuff I need to go through and see if I even need it. Do I want it? But first, figure out my layout. Next, I'm going to go through and then get rid of the stuff that I don't need to keep, because in this room there's a lot of stuff that I don't need to keep. In this right behind me, a lot of this is just here for decorative purposes, so that I can change it out with winter, summer. I like that ability, but I also know that I want to pare it down quite a bit. And like I said, this is going to become my main focal point. And the other thing about this is I am not a tech channel. Not a tech channel at all. And if you've watched many tech channels, you have seen most of the tech channels do that whole cool thing where they have the different color lights and everything. This needs to be looking like my house. Do you know why? Because from my living room, you can see right into this room. So I don't want it to scream studio all the time. That's why I have the portable light that you saw earlier on, so that when it's not in studio mode, I can put it away. Other things I want to do is I need a better trash can. Yeah, the trash can looks like a trash can. I just want to make this room work better for me. I want to make this room seem better for me. It's going to take a lot of different things. But now that I know that the layout is not going to change, and I keep saying this, is figure out your layout first, then let the pieces come to you. This is not going to be a 24-hour, 48-hour, 1-week makeover, because one, we have to come up with the money for it. Some of it is going to be sort of expensive. The computer, I know, is going to be expensive. So it will take a while. Maybe I won't get the computer right away. Maybe I won't get the standing, sitting desk right away. Those are fixed elements that, they're fixed elements. But other pieces, like the credenza, can change. When the credenza moves, then I'll probably end up getting a new sofa. Why am I going to get a new sofa? Because right now I just have 2 love seats in there, and I'd rather have a love seat and a larger sofa so I can fit more people if I ever get to the point where more people can come over or do come over. But I want a larger sofa, one, so that I can actually lay down in my living room and watch TV. That would be a wonderful moment. Alright, so that's where we are. This is how this makeover is going to go. If you want to see because we'll be checking in on this makeover to see how it's going. It's not going to happen all at once. It's going to take some time. As I get new ideas, new pieces, I will show this to you, and we're probably going to, we're going to build from there, because eventually I would like to redo just about every single room in the condo. In fact, not just about, but I would like to redo every single room in the condo, so that way it's really cool, and I have the condo of my dreams, but we're going to get there. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Or do you have any plans to redo some stuff? Let me know, and I hope I get to see you again the next time you stop by.